For the first time in my life, I traveled with nothing but a backpack because I wished to go light-handed. I took only what was really necessary, not like before when I used to change clothes 3 times a day, wear a ton of makeup and have jackets and umbrellas for every occasion. I arrived in a tracksuit and had only some homeware and a shampoo with me, nothing else. My name is Olesya. I came from Kazan, a city in Tatarstan. I'm a pastry chef. After I began to practice and gave up sugar, this profession became really ascetic for me. But such asceticism is very effective in developing willpower. The willpower is beneficial for practice, because sitting for an hour and a half, 2 hours is hard for an untrained person. The life situation I had to face made my emotional and mental state unstable. For a couple of years or so, I browsed internet and YouTube in search of information, practices, techniques that could help me deal with this state. Once I came across Master's video. Now, of course, I do understand how it works. It wasn't me who came across the video, but rather Master allowed me to join this practice. It must have been like this. It's not good that she's out there in the darkness. Okay, I'll help her too. In his every interview, I used to find answers to my questions. Master's advice was always what I wanted to hear. No psychologist could give me an answer I was looking for. I asked questions, but their answers were never satisfactory. They were not what I wanted to hear. I realized they were of no help to me. I guess I watched all the videos on his channel. Just a week later, I started doing practices offered on the website. 15 minutes in the morning, 15 minutes in the evening, gradually increasing the practice time. I practiced for 21 days to get deeper into this state and make it into a habit. When I began to feel the change and my sensations were different, I set a goal to attend the retreat. And I am here. This retreat is my first event. I attended a seminar in April, but it all came together here. After I registered for the retreat, I thought if there were news about the seminar, I would definitely go. When I learned that instead of Turkey, the seminar was to be held in Moscow, I contacted the organizers and they put me on a waiting list. About a week later, my participation was confirmed. That was awesome. When such things begin to happen, you realize that the universe is showing you a path, and this is the right path to follow. It gives me goosebumps. At that time, my emotional state was still very unstable. At the seminar, I didn't really assimilate the information, but I thought it would still be recorded at the back of my mind. The knowledge participants get there is indeed sacred. Master explains everything in perfectly simple, clear language. You can hardly find anything of the kind on the internet. Before, I viewed as a mystery the law of attraction that explains how the power of thought attracts certain events or things into our life. But Master very clearly explains how it works at the physical level. That's what I need. If someone said it was a miracle or magic, I would never follow that person. I needed an explanation that would work at the physical level. For what concerns the retreat, for me, and maybe for many participants, it is an opportunity to speed up the process of realization, the process of achieving unity. Master's energy and the collective energy field formed by the participants greatly contribute to it. The practice in general helped me start a new life and change the way I see the world. I used to look at events, people, situations through the prism of my own beliefs. But practice helps remove these patterns. I've been practicing for 7 months, and I think there's a long way to go yet. Of course, it's only the beginning. But the way I feel now is already awesome. I see everything in a whole new light, through a different lens. My emotional state. When I felt that emotions were taking over, I sat down to practice. The only thing that could calm me was Master's voice. If I couldn't sleep at night, I would turn on mantras that he and Miriam performed. For some people, the Aum sound may be soothing, but for me, it's the music they make. It helped me fall asleep. At work, in a stressful situation, I used to close my ears and turn on an interview or music to calm down. I just dissolved in it. It changed my emotional state. Just a week before the seminar, my life changed dramatically. I lost my job, relocated. Lots of things that I'll keep private now. Life turned upside down. In one of his interviews, Master said, "You will get all you need for realization. You, not your personality." I wanted to live in Europe, in Italy, to be a pastry chef. It took me several years before I could move to a big city. But I ended up rejoining my parents in the countryside. Now I live with them. I allowed myself time to practice and take care of myself before the retreat. Then I'll think about what to do next and how to build my life. This is the time I needed for attending the seminar, for practicing after the seminar, for gaining strength, for practicing during the retreat. My parents know about this, of course. Mom is naturally more involved. She's gradually getting engaged in the practice. She started doing exercises, 15 minutes in the morning and 15 minutes in the evening. I hope she will feel the change and want to experience the sensation more often, or, let's say, more deeply. After 3 months of practice, I experienced a sensation of complete dissolution for the first time. I felt only one point in the region of the third eye, and nothing else. This is a state of bliss, incomparable to anything. I explained it to Mom, saying that no pleasure in the world compares to it. Once you feel it, you'll gladly dedicate every free minute to practicing to feel it again. But so far, it was the only experience. Master says one shouldn't cling to the result, as this may hinder our development. This is how I practiced for several months. I sat down and waited for this sensation of dissolution. Then I realized it was a mistake, but everything comes when you're prepared and when you need it. Initially, my desires were quite common: a house, a car, more money, to travel the world and all that. But now I realize I'll have everything I need. And I know, if I make an effort, I'll get those things too. But it's not the way it used to be, where one has to strain their every nerve to get there. Gradually, I'll get everything when I'm ready for it. Here, it is much easier to practice than at home on my own, and it brings better results. Probably because, first of all, I feel responsible. I know that Master is looking at me. He sees everyone and knows who does it responsibly. When at home, I feel more relaxed. After 2 days of practicing, I felt, first of all, that my concentration improved a lot. It's a sense of awareness when we say that our assemblage point is in the forehead, the back of the head, and the spine. We do everything through this sensation, which makes it easier. At home, when you do your usual routine, you may realize that you are getting out of this state. In this case, you either need to stop or sit back into practice to get in tune, so that you don't act mechanically. Here, it's much easier. I hope during these 7 days of practicing, this effect will be even stronger. And when I come home, it'll be easier for me to practice on my own. As for the venue and the participants, here in Sochi, in the mountains, the atmosphere is very peaceful. This further contributes to improving the inner state, helping to calm down. Silence without, silence within. It helps me relax and forget about problems, about the outer world. I can concentrate and immerse in myself. It's awesome. This is a really great place for a retreat. When I came here, I couldn't find the hotel. I was told to go up here. Learning that the event would be in the mountains gave me shivers. That's fantastic. Now at the retreat, I feel comfortable. At the seminar, I felt uncomfortable, probably just because of my emotional state. And here it is. When you go out, you merge with nature. Here you merge with this entire space, including the participants. Knowing that there's someone next to me, that they are doing something or moving, doesn't bother me at all. That's it. I don't even seem able to find the right words to describe it, but it's probably a complete unity with everyone. I would advise people to listen to themselves, to stay alone with themselves for a while, to ignore what others say or advise. Because it's important to listen to your inner voice, to realize what you really want and where you want to be. Be determined and exercise willpower. Be patient, because things won't come instantly. During your first 15-minute practice, it'll seem like you've been sitting for half a day already. What is it like to feel the space? You're vigorously trying to feel it, causing a headache. You don't understand, but you need to be patient, to keep cultivating. Soon it will be easy for you to sit for an hour and a half. When you learn to enter a state of peace and dissolution, you won't want the practice to end. Sometimes I practice with my headphones on for an hour or an hour and a quarter. When in this state, I usually pass on to the next video to continue practicing. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but it helps me tune in and calm down. It helps me immerse in myself and be able to hear myself. Then it's easier to interact with the outer world. To some degree, the outer world is an aggressor that always tests the level of your tolerance and tranquility. Different situations may happen, checking how dispassionate you are. I got all the answers to my questions when watching all Master's interviews. There are always many wishes, thoughts, questions. They emerge every day. I especially like one of Master's sayings. There must be only one desire, to achieve unity with your higher self. Because no pleasure in the world can bring you joy and happiness if there is no harmony within. Now this is my only appeal. Every time I sit down to practice, every time I come to practice in a group or get out of this state, I thank the universe for this opportunity to achieve unity with my higher self. Only this is important.